Hello everyone, this is Azru from the North American server, and today we are on the 8.4 test server to take a look at the new British Tier 10 tank destroyer, of which the official name is the FV215b 183. That is very long and awkward, so we're just going to call it the 183. The introduction of the 183 has been controversial, to say the least, namely because of the gun. If you look at the premium rounds, you get 275 millimeters of penetration and 1,750 average damage. That is a solid 50% higher than the previous king of Alpha Strike, the Jagdpanzer E100, and that is an enormous increase. It's going to let you comfortably one-shot Tier 8s and Tier 9s, of which you would see a lot of in pub battles, and with good rolls, you can actually one-shot quite a few Tier 10s as well. To my knowledge, this is the first tank since the pre-nerf Su-85 that can consistently one-shot itself, which I find hilarious, and it is going to be the ultimate troll tank if it is not changed. I have not played British tanks beyond the low tier, so I don't have a crew to put in here. I just bought a new crew and trained them with gold, so they're at 100%, but they don't have any crew skills or anything like that. And I hopped into a battle earlier to make sure that my mods were working, but this will actually be the first time I'm playing this tank, so you're going to see what I see. This is completely unedited. My impressions are only based off of what I have heard other people saying and what I've read on the forums, and I think I watched 1 or 2 videos, but it looks like this tank is really overpowered right now. And the reason I say that is if you think about average damage in just a run-of-the-mill Tier 10 tank, 1,500 damage per game is representative of your average World of Tanks player. 2,000 damage per game, you're a good player. 2,500, you're a great player. 3,000 damage per game, you're on the Unicum level, and 3,500 damage is God tier. So if you put that in context of the average damage of this gun, 1,750, if you penetrate one shot and just do average damage, that automatically is putting you somewhere between good, between decent and good. If you can hit 2 shots, you're looking at 3,500 damage, and that's putting you on God tier already. And that is, I realize that's optimistic, because you are not going to penetrate every shot. You're going to miss some shots, and a lot of times you're going to be shooting tanks that may only have like 500 hit points left. So you're wasting a lot of potential damage, but still, if under optimal conditions, if you penetrated 2 shots on just full health tanks, you could do 3,500 damage, and you are more than carrying your weight. I think that's just crazy, and that's just food for thought, So this tank is quite, actually for a tank destroyer, it has decent maneuverability and speed. And you can keep up with heavy pushes, it looks like. I mean, you can see here that I am basically going the same speed as this IS-7, so you can definitely use this tank as part of an assault team, and use it in an assaulting role. And the other fact that contributes to that is that it does have a turret. I believe that it is limited to a total of 45 degrees of traverse. So you can see here when I move it to the right, I'm going to hit the point at which I can no longer rotate the turret. So it's got about 45 degrees of traverse, but still on a tank destroyer that's actually a really big deal, because tank destroyers have traditionally been balanced, not including the American turret line. They have generally been balanced around the fact that you get a very powerful gun, but you do not have a turret. So, wow. I actually team damaged my ally, that's interesting. Back to what I was saying, you don't have a turret, so when you're going around buildings and such, you have a very hard time, and you have a hard time being aggressive, you have a hard time pushing on your own, because you could very easily just be tracked and flanked. If you leave a defensive position, it's very easy to kill you. So once you start introducing a turret on tank destroyers that have these very powerful guns, you're really changing the game dynamic. So let's see if I can pen this guy for his lower plates. See you later. Wow, 1,500 damage. You never saw that one coming. Yeah, I mean, that's just crazy. the ability to do that much damage, and you get 275 millimeters of penetration, which with carefully aimed shots, that's enough to go through the frontal glacis of pretty much any tank in the game if you're hitting that weak spot. So let's kill this guy. Oh, got, well, I was actually above average damage roll, but still, that's almost a one-shot on him. I mean, you can definitely trade with people in this tank if you're playing your cards right, and with some backup here, he can't just come out and rush me. So we traded one shot for one shot, and he did like 700 damage, 800 damage to me. I did almost 1800 to him. Okay, I'll put the push down here, and he cleans him up. Oh, bat chats. Yeah, come on, bat chat. Just stay right there. Oh no, I missed. I mean, if you look at my damage log right now, I have over 4,000 damage, and I've only hit 3 shots. But one of them was, a kill shot on a 183 that had like 80% health left. The other was a near kill shot on a 100% health FV215b. That is just crazy. And this guy is running away as fast as he can. He wants nothing to do with me. He knows that if I land a shot, it is lights out. And it looks like this shot went low and it hit his tracks. So this is a good time to talk about the unique properties of HESH rounds. We mentioned earlier that they are not the same as APCR or heat rounds, and this is probably a gross oversimplification, but my understanding of how they are currently implemented in the game is that HESH rounds are nothing more than a regular high explosive round, but with very high penetration values. So what this means is that if you shoot someone, it will explode as soon as it contacts any part of their hitbox. So when you're shooting HESH rounds, you're going to have problems when you hit spaced armor, or when you're firing like at the side of a tank and hit their tracks, because the HESH round is going to detonate as soon as it hits that first layer. And it doesn't matter if their side armor is only 50 millimeters. If you hit someone in the side and you go through their tracks, the HESH round will explode when it hits the tracks, and you're not going to do a penetrating shot and get full damage. The flip side of that is that you saw that when I shot at that bat chat, my shot went low, and if I had been firing an AP round or APCR or heat, I would not have done any hull damage, because it wouldn't have actually contacted his hull. It would have gone through the bottom portion of his tracks and underneath his tank. With the HESH round, it exploded as soon as it hit any part of his tracks, and it let me get in, a solid damage roll on him. Even though I did not actually get a penetrating shot, I still did something. And if you're shooting at something that's very heavily armored as well, for example, if you're shooting in front of an IS-7 at range, and you really don't think you can penetrate him anyway, you're still going to do some damage because it has an 183mm gun. And that's actually a larger caliber than the Object 261, so it's almost like you are shooting someone in the face with a Tier 8 artillery round. You're still going to get anywhere from 30 to 40% of your max damage, or your full penetrating damage, even with a non-penetrating shot with the HESH rounds. And another interesting thing is that because it's such a high caliber round, I believe it has around 5 meters of splash damage radius, so I am looking forward to seeing these videos of 183s getting bombardier, killing multiple tanks at once just because of the huge splash damage, and I'm sure this is going to be showing up on YouTube. Alright, let's take a look at the post-battle screen now and see what it tells us. I got 1 hit in on an IS-7, 800 damage. I don't even remember this guy. Who was he? Oh, he was the allied FV215b that I team damaged, and it must have been splash damage because it has a 5-meter splash radius. I think that I damaged his tracks or something like that. Same thing with this bad chat. I hit him once without penetrating, but I got 2 crits on him, and one of those was his tracks. I'm not sure what the other was. It might have been a crew member. But if you look at this 183, look at the Object 261, I only hit those guys once, but I did 3 crits on the 183 and 5 crits on the Object 261. I mean, if I had not killed them outright, those guys would have been really crippled, and they would have lost multiple crew members and multiple modules. Even with a repair kit, first aid kit, once you get hit like that, you are severely crippled and you're pretty much out of the battle. So, wow, yeah, those hash rounds, like, that is another one of the big benefits of firing hash rounds. Let's see. They changed the post-battle report a little bit. They added this new thing which shows potential damage received. That's pretty interesting. So 4,200 damage on the I-7. I had potential damage of 3,790. But I did over 5,000 damage. I only fired 6 shots, but I had over 5,000 damage. That is a really good game in a tier 10 tank. And I mean, to be quite honest, I don't even feel like I had that good of a game. I've been spending a lot of time commentating and focusing on that, so I haven't really been concentrating on playing, and I still did that. So yeah, I mean, I think that this is a very powerful tank. I would be surprised if they do not change it, but let me know your thoughts, and thank you for watching.